And again, directing your attention to the sweethearts table. And the first toast by the best man, little brother of the groom, please welcome Mr. Patrick Keegan.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pat. I'm Tim's brother, Tim's only brother, which obligated him to pick me to be here tonight. Which in turn now obligates me to have to pick him to be my best man. Tim, it is an honor to be your best man. It's wonderful to see you all tonight and catch up, but as I stand here before you, I really wish more of you couldn't make it. There'd be a lot less anxiety if this were being held at the Justice of the Peace, like Michelle originally wanted. But Tim had to have his fairy tale wedding. Having said that, my apologies in advance if my voice may crack, I may stutter, or I may even pause completely. But please do not flatter yourselves. I'm not nervous because of you. It's just that along with the many wonderful gifts genetically bestowed upon us Keegan boys from our lovely father, being terrible at public speaking falls right alongside as having awful knees, fringe handsomeness, and premature ejaculation. Which reminds me, for those of you interested, there will be an after party following tonight's reception. We'll be in the honeymoon suite no more than 5 minutes after they retreat for the first night together. The suites aren't that big, so please come early. Tim will. Now, before I talk about the groom, it's customary to say a few things about the bride and groom's relationship, and of course the bride. Michelle, as expected, you look absolutely stunning this evening. Tim and Michelle met each other at work. Yes, that bustling swingers club, that is J.P. Morgan. A naughty hush-hush work romance ripped right from the pages of a General Hospital script. I remember when they began dating, I would accidentally get texts from Tim that would read, "I need you. Meet me in a 9th floor break room in 5 minutes. Big face." With the blooming of this office romance, it triggered the blooming of something else entirely, our interest in Tim's job. Upon hearing about this new girl at work, I knew this girl was the real thing. It was all based on context clues. It's not necessarily what he said, it's what he didn't say. Tim, for his entire life, was a serial long-term relationship guy. Every serious girlfriend he had, at one point or another, he'd sit me down and say, "Pat, this is the girl I'm going to marry." With Michelle, however, not a goddamn peep. And I knew this would be my sister. Tim had been preparing for this wedding day to Michelle even as a kid, and he forced me to be a part of those too. He'd grab my shirt and give me the ultimatum, either get punched in the head or be a witness when I play marriage to Kelly's blonde Barbie doll. You know, I can go on and on trying to convince you people that Tim loves her, but I can deduce all that effort by putting it to this one simple perspective. He agreed to live in his mother-in-law's basement in Delaware. Delaware. But as I make jokes about it, it was a brilliant move by Tim to move his life to Delaware because he knows that when I'm buying a new car, or I need an upgrade on my computer, or in the market for furniture, I'll be there in a heartbeat for a visit / big-ticket tax-free purchase. But really, our family couldn't be happier with this new addition. She's beautiful, smart, funny, and hopefully offsets that cursed red-headed gene that's been ruining members of this family's lives for generations. I'm extremely happy and proud to call you my sister. Now this is the part where in the speech where I say nice things about you and kiss your ass for a while, but we all know you should be up here thanking me. Because by comparison, you are the successful, handsome, promising Keegan boy. I'm indebted forever to my parents being so disappointed with the first attempt at a son. They decided to try again, thus gifting me an older brother. Tim molded my early life because A, I wanted to be just like him, and B, he was the first boy for my parents, so through trial and error, they made all the mistakes with him, grew wiser, and could really focus on doing it right this time. He's only 18 months older than me, which means we shared a lot of the same things, and being older, he would experience the same things and pass down the wisdom. He told me about hard work and the value of money. We spent months doing chores and saving up our allowance to buy the latest video game, take it home, play it for 2 hours, and never touch it again. He told me about discipline. Tim showed me that no matter what, always, 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 rewind the tapes we found in Dad's sock drawer to the exact moment you found it. Otherwise, the game's up. He told me how to be a pirate. Here I was running around with an eye patch and fake sword trying to push people off an imaginary plank. But Tim was a Renaissance man. He said, no, to be a real pirate, you must steal music from the internet and be sued by record companies. True story. He told me about sharing. He would let me borrow some of his cologne. And on that same token, he told me about consequences. Tim was an older boy before I was and instructed me which cologne to wear based on which priest we were working with. Because certain scents would set certain priests off into this predatory rage. There are two major responsibilities of being a big brother. The first, to be your best friend. And even though he kicked and screamed while my parents would force him to take your brother, I knew deep down that he was so angry because he just didn't want to share me with his friends. One fiscal opportunity for parents with boys fairly close in age is bunk beds. And with that comes an intimate experience of bonding, a sense of nighttime companionship, long nights of giggling and absolutely nothing, and chronic bedwetting. Despite this disorder, he was awarded the top bunk, where every night for me was Chinese water torture. A single drip would consistently hit my forehead until I gave up those government secrets. I would try and reason with my parents, but you know what Adolf and Abraham did? They took the side of the Jennifer's convertible salesman who advised that, Mr. and Mrs. Keegan, general physics dictates that your fat son should be on the bottom bunk. The second most important responsibility of Big Brother is to be your protector. One of the most vivid memories that I had with Tim of being in this role is when his soccer teammates were all calling me Butterball, and rightfully so. And as I laid there on the ground wheezing and wiping away that sweat that accumulated underneath my breasts, I heard Tim say, he's not fat, it's all muscle. At the time I thought, well, he's an idiot. This clearly isn't muscle. But I soon realized that he was just being my big brother. Northeast Philadelphia can be a tough place to grow up. At least at the time. It's tremendously easy to fall off or be distracted. Different ages and different grade levels have a very cyclical social pattern. Tim, being older, went through the very same things I would go through growing up. You noticed some things, you thought I might be heading down the wrong path, or being associated with the wrong group. Give me a very needed kick in the ass. And I can't begin to thank him enough for that. Of course, to him, it's no heroic feat. It's probably news to him even hearing it now as I say this. But yet again, he was just being my big brother. I moved away from him after high school, so we certainly don't see enough of each other now. Based on that, Tim could have selected any of these groomsmen to be his best man here tonight. But they're all fraternity brothers, and the contract specifically says you pay a monthly due for their friendship. The premium skyrockets if you ask one to be your best man. So I'd like to think Tim picked me to be his best man based on our close relationship. As I look around, I'm beginning to think it's because he needed to save money for this amazing wedding. Considering he was the person I hated most as a kid, means he did his job as a big brother then. Considering he's a person I admire and want to emulate now, he's doing his job as a big brother now. I said no, please. So I ask all of you to raise your glasses in this toast. Michelle, you earned my love. Tim was obliged upon me by nature. I do love you two very much. I wish you nothing but happiness. Cheers.
You're here. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please free your hands to give a round of applause to the best man, little brother, Mr. Keegan.
Great job, Paul.
And now we can please continue holding up those glasses of champagne for the